For nearly a century, most psychologists have embraced one view of intelligence. Individuals are born with more or less intelligence potential, IQ. This potential is heavily influenced by heredity and difficult to alter. Experts in measurement can determine a person's intelligence early in life, currently from paper and pencil measures, perhaps eventually from examining the brain in action or even scrutinizing his or her genome. Recently, criticism of this conventional wisdom has mounted. Biologists ask if speaking of a single entity called intelligence is coherent and question the validity of measures used to estimate heritability of a trait in humans who, unlike plants or animals, are not conceived and bred under controlled conditions. So we have two key aspects. The first aspect is the traditional measurement of intelligence or intelligence potential or IQ. And in this, we have the psychologist's existing system, but this system is being questioned or even criticized at present. People have begun to question it. People have begun to criticize it because this takes intelligence to be one single entity and also makes an assumption about its heritability. Here we see the validity of measures used to estimate heritability of a trait in humans. Or we are talking about intelligence, the heritability of intelligence. Can intelligence be inherited? That is being asked in at the present. So let's look at the options. Option 1 states biologists have questioned the long standing view that intelligence is a single entity and the attempts to estimate its heritability. This is perfect, covers both the key aspects. Biologists have questioned the long standing view that intelligence is a single entity, the attempts to estimate its heritability. So the traditional view of intelligence as a single entity is being questioned now. And secondly, we have the attempts to estimate its heritability, whether intelligence is inheritable, that is also being looked into, considered. It is biologists who are doing this. Biologists ask if speaking of a single entity. So here we mention biologists as the subject of this option. Overall, this covers all the ground and this is quite perfect. So we can qualify one as a valid answer. Option 2 states biologists have questioned the view that intelligence is a single entity and the ways in which what is inherited. While the first part of this is very similar to option 1, the second part distorts the premise by saying the ways in which what is inherited. We see in the end it is mentioned the validity of measures used to estimate heritability of a trait, and the trait that we are talking about is intelligence. It is not about what is inherited, the ways in which it is inherited. The question is intelligence inheritable? Is it? Is that a valid question? Is there a valid measure for it? So we see clearly that this is distorted. So we can eliminate option 2. 2 is out. Option 3 states biologists have started questioning psychologists' view of intelligence as a measurable, immutable characteristic of an individual. This is clearly limited because it omits two very key aspects, two aspects that one includes in itself, which is why one is the better option. First, it omits the aspect of the traditional view of intelligence as a single entity. Second, it completely omits the aspect of the heritability of traits in human beings. So 3 is clearly limited as compared to option 1. We can eliminate option 3. Option 4 states biologists have criticized that conventional wisdom that individuals are born with more or less intelligence potential, have criticized that conventional wisdom that individuals are born with more or less intelligence potential. Again, we don't need to go into this, we don't need to check. The same as option 3, this omits the single entity argument and the estimate of heritability argument. So this is also limited as compared to 1. We can eliminate option 4. So the most appropriate answer here is option 1. Now, initially, some some of you might have eliminated option 1 because of the grammatical error in its. Its is the pronoun form, the possessive form of the pronoun it, and here we are talking about intelligence. So the apostrophe is incorrect. It should have been its without the apostrophe. But despite that, this is the most appropriate answer. The only problem here is grammar, while the other options, they could be logically eliminated. Moreover, the cat does make the odd mistake from time to time. So this grammatical mistake is there. Despite this mistake, 1 is given as the answer to this. So we just have to overlook that particular error. So finally, our answer is option 1.